we thank the conference organizing committee, particularly Dr. Vijitra for inviting me for this speech. So my topic is artificial intelligence for national development, and finally to identify several real-world problems to apply artificial intelligence, the AI techniques. Contains what is AI and the branches of AI. It's a vast area, artificial intelligence. Then the AI today, that's in 2018, how far the researchers have achieved the developments and trends in technology in general, and problems being favorably addressed, particularly the AI-based problems and some real-world problems, and finally the need for collaborative research and room for improvement. Artificial intelligence is the branch of computer science that is usually to emulate the intelligent decision making in a computer. So in various ways we want to act a computer intelligently. It is but in fact it is artificial because it's not natural intelligence. The main challenge is implementing the middle ground, that is the uncertainty. We usually handle very intelligently the uncertainty. For example, most of our undergraduates, in fact I want to make a correction that I am retired now. I was a senior lecturer at the UCSC till the January 2018. Most of our undergraduates still use their national ID card they have taken in for their O levels. So they are, when we look at the photograph and also their appearance now, there's a difference. So they use them for banks, for transactions. The cashiers look at the ID card photograph and then the person, and then make a quick decision that they two both of them match, but actually different. But what they match is the features, the features of the photograph with the present face. So the most of the other things are different, but still they match that and then take a quick decision that this is the right person in front of me. So that is the handling the uncertainty. So the human beings are very good in handling uncertainties. The machines usually work according to a logic being right in a program. So usually there's a one-to-one match. If that matching fails, then the decision is to reject. So therefore, the conventional programs do not act intelligently, only following the strict logic. Okay, so the effort in artificial intelligence is to give the machine that intelligence as much as possible. There are various also the context of a problem. Context. I think now there are the certain cases that we, especially in natural language processing, we usually use the context, the actual idea that the computer program cannot do. The computers can only process logic according to the given instructions. true or false, binary. This Popper's paradox is should the tolerant society tolerate intolerance? If you want to tolerate everything, then we have to tolerate intolerance also. But tolerating intolerance is not practical. The human beings will not tolerate intolerance, but the machine will tolerate, because machine is given the idea to tolerate. So it will tolerate everything, including the intolerance. The computer and human beings will come to different conclusions in this Popper's paradox. The different branches of AI, the logical AI, this is based on the facts. The program, and then that this particular logic is not conventional programming, it's different programming, not just based on this recursion and if-then else, but three other techniques, that is called unification, backtracking and recursion. That is, it will go through one path to find the given goal. If it doesn't find that, without stopping there, it will go back, that is backtracking, and then look for another avenue. For example, if we give the relationships between different people, and if we request the system to look for a brother or sibling of a particular given another person, it will go through the given logic and then find a sibling or brother or a sister. If it finds, then it will output that, and without stopping there, it will go back and then look for other brothers. There may be more than one brother or more than one sister, more siblings. Okay, so usually our conventional program, it will go through and then look for a brother. If it doesn't find, then it will stop there. It will output the result. Okay. Then search, that is examining a large number of possibilities. For example, in a chess game, all the possibilities, as many, that is exhaustive search, that is looking for all the possibilities, and then it will make the movement, that is the next movement, looking for all the possibilities, and then maybe based on the certain criteria, it will make the decision for the next movement. Then the representation, that is the representation of facts, how to represent facts to achieve a certain goal or to find the solution. Then inference, that is usually conclusions, how to make conclusions from the given facts. Then the common sense knowledge and reasoning, most of the time we use common sense in decision making that the machines don't have. Then the planning for certain actions to be taken, and then knowing the expected results. So we are very good in planning, and we sometimes look for the different possibilities, and then we make a decision on going through one path, one possibility. Then learning from experience. This is what we usually do from our birth. We learn from experience. If we do that experience, we memorize. And then, for example, you don't have to take much effort in identifying a coconut tree, because you know the features, characteristics of a coconut tree, and also a jack tree, because you have learned the nature of a characteristics of a jack tree, and then you have that in your memory. Okay. we need, that is the simulator, to give this ability for a machine. We need to make the machine learn by experience. We make a lot of decisions by learning and then through experience. Okay. So one example was a young person in his early 20s had an accident and lost the memory. Completely lost the memory. Physically he was very fit. His mother had to teach that person from the very beginning. In the way she taught trained that person after his birth, the way we eat, the way we brush our teeth, everything, mother had to, he lost the memory and he lost everything. He didn't know how to live. So mother started training him from the very beginning, and little by little he gained, and then he had that experience through learning. So we after learning, we don't know how much we have in our memory in identifying various objects, the people, the environment, houses. We know how to distinguish a shop from a house and a vegetable shop from a fruit shop by just looking at through learning and experience. Then epistemology, that is also the kind of knowledge in solving problems related to ontology also, identifying the things and the things related to the particular object. Then the pattern recognition, this is also a very important part of artificial intelligence. If the machine wants to identify a person in a scenery, then we, by looking at, just identify the person. The machine will look for the eyes and the nose. If the patterns of eyes match in that scenery for a certain spot, then the machine will say that it's a person, pattern matching. Then genetic programming, this is usually based on the survival of the fittest. This is the algorithm, very common in animal world. So we know that sometimes in a nest, bird's nest, the siblings, that is the bird that comes out of the egg first before the other egg is the eldest. That bird in a particular bird family, that bird will usually push the second one to the ground, and then it will die. But the mother and father don't interfere, because they have also survived in the same way. Because it's very extremely difficult those birds to survive. So the population need to be controlled. So naturally siblings are killed by the eldest. So that is survival of the fittest. This genetic programming are based on these algorithms. Then heuristics, usually making intelligent guesses. If we don't have an opportunity to make a firm decision, then we make an intelligent guess. Okay. Then some artificial intelligence technologies that will dominate in 2018, I have found them in the website. I have listed at the end under references. Natural language generation. So we are still far behind in processing natural language. So it's now on the cards in research. Then the speech recognition reach some level in research, but a long way to go. Then the virtual agents, that is chatbot, that is the robots representing the human being. Very recently one British university produced a robot as a shop assistant. The main role was to train that robot to help the customers to find the shelves or other the places they need. So one supermarket voluntarily accepted to test that and then place the robot at the front. It says that that robot shop assistant was very popular in first few days, and after the news of that, it was sacked or fired from that job by the supermarket after going through a terrible ordeal because the customer started complaining. It could not handle the questions from the customers in the way trained human being does. So, although we have come to a certain level, still a lot of room to improve. The machine learning platforms, so what I have mentioned about learning and training, then AI optimized hardware, there have been some industries using hardware customized for artificial intelligence applications, but specific applications. So they are being used in certain industries. Then decision management, this is usually when the computers were introduced, there was a frustration from certain employees in certain industries, especially in data processing, data management, that there was a threat for the jobs. But in this case, the data management decision making is supported by artificial intelligence based systems. So the data, as we heard about the big data, the data are summarized, and then decision making without just going through their data and then learning the patterns, the systems will produce the trends, and then the employees will be able to make the decision based on the given data. Then the biometrics, again, this is the human involvement with the environment. In most of the cases, the way we use our sensory organs, the machines will replace the human beings. Then the robotic processes, automation in the industry also, and analytics, and this red card is coming up. I will just rush through analytics of and natural language processing. We will come to that again later. Then the cyber defense, especially in the defense area, how artificial intelligence, most of the cases are now used by the armed forces, and compliance, that is certification and confirmation. Then AI modeling, the digital thing, the knowledge worker aid, that is using the similar to the robots, the workers who have the knowledge, the artificial knowledge to perform duties. Then the content creation, that is the way we create videos and other contents for the society. There are systems that will create the videos and other contents. Then peer-to-peer networks. There are certain cities in New York, within the New York and also other main cities using as pilot program some sort of peer-to-peer communication between vehicles, and then as a solution for traffic congestion. And finally, some sort of the vehicle digital corridor, that is the vehicles after communicating with each other, they will have a smooth flow traffic through a certain path. They are known as digital corridors. Emotion recognition, the happiness, anger, those things, identifying the system through a camera after capturing the image. Then image recognition, then the deep learning platforms, that is going beyond the normal learning and training, some sort of complex learning training program. Then the marketing automation, the business intelligence. Some of the trends in technology, these are usually we identify through the interest shown by the undergraduates for their projects. Applications in Java, artificial neural networks, mobile computing, mobile applications, data mining, sensor networks, the information security, multimedia technology, then virtual reality, big data, as I mentioned, then the deep learning, now IoT, the recent trend. Then there was a time that the computer science was introduced to the universities. Students look for problems, and there were problems because there haven't been any information technology based solution. So there were problems available. Then students identify the problems and they propose the solutions. Now there are technologies, so the students are now equipped with the technology but no problems. Now they are looking for problems. Okay, then they look for problems, and most of the problems they identify are artificial. So therefore, in selecting a project, you have to look for an actual natural problem, not an artificial problem. Don't go with the solution. Look for the problem and then identify the solution. That is problem being the character recognition, this license plate recognition, optical character recognition, optical mark recognition, voice recognition, advertising. Very favorable solutions have been given. Driverless car, biometrics, fingerprint recognition, face recognition. Then some real world problems I have identified: the human-elephant conflict, traffic congestion, vehicle parking, agriculture industry, the maritime issues, especially in the fishing community, the language translation, then computer security, the phishing, that is attempting to get your personal or other information, important data. Some of these solutions, some of these problems can be addressed with the available resources. About 5-6 years back, on the front page of the island newspaper, with the caption "Well Connected," they published a photograph of a coconut picker taking a call from a mobile phone on top of a coconut tree. So they are about 4 or 5 years back. It said that staff photographer accidentally saw that and then managed to get a photograph. That is, a mobile phone has reached that level. Okay, so it has become a common tool among the citizens. Therefore, it's very that can be used as a tool to pass information to the grassroots level. This is human-elephant conflict. Some of the issues why the solution is difficult. The traffic congestion. I have some statistics from the Department of Motor Traffic, how the number of vehicles increasing. Then sometimes the traffic lights are not off, and then the police officers take over and they handle intelligently. Some people criticize, but this criticism is from offenders. They try to get through somehow. Okay, but these officers, they look at the queue and then they intelligently handle that. I have a few more minutes. Then natural language processing, the way the understanding the context of the natural language is extremely difficult, because there are a lot of synonyms. And now say I saw a child with the binoculars. There are two meanings. I saw with my binoculars, or I saw the child having the binoculars. So we also get confused when we need to interpret this kind of situation. So no need to think of the machine. Understanding the context. Then the agriculture industry, the significant food waste. We heard that about water salad, the whole crop they had to discard and maybe donate the people at the lowest income group, the way they suffer. So if we can have the solutions from the AI-based technology, so I have listed some hopeful solutions. Maritime, the same thing with the fisheries industry. Very difficult to predict the harvest, day-to-day harvest. Then finally, the need for collaborative research. The universities have research projects for the undergraduates, but the small-scale research conducted in isolation. The potential solutions that may never be utilized, okay? And we don't have much collaborative research inter-university with the industry. So even the students are reluctant to get involved in an ongoing project, maybe partially completed by somebody else, thinking that their contribution cannot be highlighted. So therefore they don't get involved, but naturally most of the research take a long period with the conclusion from different generations. Then the way the problems are analyzed, then the solutions, and also the room for improvement, the problem identification. Often the solution is an overkill. Sometimes seeing the deep learning, sometimes the deep learning cannot be maybe presented through a simple decision tree, but we use a very complex training mechanism. And these are the references, and so I am sorry that I had to rush through because of the limitation of the time. Thank you very much.